Okay. Good afternoon. We are about to start the Microsoft PowerPoint class. All right, so we are going to start right away. So today we are going into the third session of the Microsoft PowerPoint class. We started by looking at the introduction to the Microsoft PowerPoint. And then, of course, in the previous session, we developed a simple presentation and we used a design. We inserted a camera, we inserted a video, we inserted images. So we learned how to use an image in the PowerPoint presentation. We learned how to insert our text and several other things that we did. Today, we are going to take our learning further. We're going to look at how to apply animation and try slide transition. So if you have missed session 1 and session 2, where I gave a foundation on how we did this, so you should subscribe to the YouTube channel. You will see the videos there so that you can catch up. Okay, you can catch up because this is actually session 3, and I believe some of us that are in this class now have been following from session 1 up till now. So I believe strongly we are. So we are not going to spend too much time going back to scratch. But what I will do is just to explain how we did all this. So one of the things that we did was we typed our text here. We brought in text, we typed, and we used a design. So in Microsoft PowerPoint, on the design tab, you have several designs. As you can see, as I move around these designs, you can see that my slide is changing to suit any of the design I picked. So this was the design we used. So we used Madison design. That was what we used. And then that gave us this. So, so when you apply a design, so let me just show you a new slide. So when you create a new presentation, you start this way. Okay? So you can come to the design. So let's say how to cook rice. Maybe that's what you want to talk about. And then you say by your name. Okay? So the next thing you want to do before you go on is to go to the design tab. And that was what we did. We went to the design tab and we picked a design. So you can always pick a design. So let's say I'm using this design, for instance. Okay? And then all I need to do is just click on the thumbnail on the left side and then hit the enter key. I can open another page where I will be typing other information. Okay, but the Microsoft PowerPoint um, license, like 365 and others, give you access to designer. There's something that's called designer. So anytime you pick your design, it will suggest. So on the left, on the right side, you can see if I like, I can pick this. It's suggesting with a background picture how to cook rice. My topic was how to cook rice. And if I don't like that, I can pick this. I can pick this, how to cook rice. You put your name. And then you can look for any other one that you think you like. Designer will always be with the Microsoft 365 and the latest versions of Microsoft. So if you search, and it requires that you are also online. So to use the designer tool, you have to be online. Then you have to use the updated version, that is Microsoft 365, or maybe 2019 or 2021 version of the Microsoft application. Otherwise, if you don't have the designer, so the designer will always pop out at the end. If you look at the end of my window, you will see designer. So if I click home tab, you will see designer here. So it's always coming out just to help support your presentation. So I'm picking this, and the designer is giving me suggestions. Okay, so I can start this next presentation by saying, what is rice, for instance? Okay, so this thing is green and is looking like this because of the design that I've chosen. Because of the design. So look at this. If I choose another design, look at how it will look like. If I choose another design, look at the look. If I choose another design or another design, so it depends on what you're trying to present, what will resonate with it, and what you think will give your audience a proper outlook of your presentation. Do not make a design just simply on your own preference. No, don't do that. Don't say, okay, I'm choosing this design because I like this. You should always think about your audience. How am I going to make my presentation to make it attractive, look good, look simple enough to drive my point? Because the ultimate is what you are trying to present. You want your audience to be able to look at it. Okay? So now, so that's just that, and then you start creating your slide, you start changing your layout. So if you want to see all these details, you can check up on the videos that I've done on session 1 and session 2, because this is session number 3. Okay. So I'll go back to the slide that we created in session 2. So this was a slide that was created in session 2. So this slide is meant to talk about the importance of Microsoft PowerPoint as a communication tool. Okay, as a business growth tool, actually. So, and then I put some introductory text. So all these were typed, all these were placed in here, and then we inserted a picture, and then we put the text and inserted a picture, and I got this picture from the stock image. So if you go to pictures and you choose stock images, and you choose stock images, Microsoft itself will give you suggestions of pictures. So, and in the class, then we selected growth, we typed growth, and then it brought images that could be used to illustrate growth. And of course, that I saw the one that I picked. But there are quite a lot of images. So when you are searching, you keep having a lot of suggestions coming to you from time to time. So that's um, that's Microsoft stock images for you. So I picked the one that I saw then, and then so it's just by clicking on it, and you click insert, and then the image will come into your PowerPoint environment. Okay, so that was how I got image into this place. So like it's taking time to download. I guess it's network issue. So I won't bother to really download again. All right. So then we did this, inserted a video. So in other words, you can go to video session from your stock images, or you have a particular video that you want to use to illustrate your presentation. So the video has to do with what you have. Okay. And I also explained in the previous class that if your presentation is going online and there's going to be some um, platforms that you're going to want to put your video, you don't want to use videos that you don't have copyright access to, so that you don't get the owners of the video, coming at you. All right. So we inserted the video. We inserted the video, and then the video was meant to illustrate whatever we have. So when you are doing a presentation, anything you are putting in your PowerPoint presentation is illustrating what you are trying to explain. Okay? So it's not about just anyhow thing. So you don't just go and get anyhow video and put there, anyhow image and put there. No, your image should well enough explain what you are trying to do. Okay? Your image should well enough explain what you are trying to do. So video, and then I placed a camera. This is also part of Microsoft 365 license option. It's called Cameo. So I got that from here. If you go to Insert tab, you will see Cameo. So you can insert Cameo into all slides if you want, or insert it into the particular slide you are working on. So what that does is it puts a camera on the presentation, and then going forward, you can record. If you look at the top, if you look at this place, you will see record. You see record. So you can choose to record this slide. So what it means is that, or this presentation. So it says you can record from beginning, you can record from current slide. So you can choose to say, okay, this is the presentation that I'm going to share with my audience, but I can choose to record this. So I can click from the current slide, and the recording will start. So let me see. The recording button is somewhere in another screen. So I can say, welcome to my PowerPoint session. I'm talking about Microsoft PowerPoint, blah, blah, blah. So it seems my camera is, the system camera is not so sharp because of enough lightning. So because of there's no much lightning. So but Microsoft has given us the opportunity to record. Okay, so I don't know if I have light. Let me just 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me see if I can get enough lightning for this recording. Wow. Okay, so let's hope we have better light now. All right. So I think you can see my face clearer. So this is being recorded. All right, as it is, it's being recorded in the Microsoft PowerPoint. So when I'm done, all I need to do is just there's another section of my screen that has the controls. So that's why if you are doing this type of thing, you will need two screens. Okay, you will need to connect your system. You need to use double screen system. So what it means is that you have one screen and you have another screen attached to your presentation. All right. So as it is now, I have so this is recorded. So this is recorded. So we are looking at a recorded version of the presentation. So you can see that is what was recorded using the Cameo. So you can package this as part of your presentation, and then you are now going to share it. Okay, you're now going to share this with your audience. So that means when you are presenting, when it gets to this session, you are going to play what you recorded. And the reason is so that maybe there's something that you will want them to hear, and you will not want to be saying it during the time that you are doing that presentation. So you probably want to be able to play it to the audience and allow them to see it. So PowerPoint allows you to do that recording ahead of time. Okay. Allows you to do that recording ahead of time. Now, the next thing that we want to look at is some of the tools that we have that we can use in PowerPoint. Before I now go to other things like animations and other things. So some of the things that we can do in PowerPoint is we can insert table. Okay? You can insert a table. When we say table, not a table and chair, but a table of data. So you can have something like serial number, name, phone, email. All right. So you can have a table of data. In which case you can create your table of data directly in PowerPoint. That's what we are saying. You can put your data, so you can have John Doe, Mary Doe, Michael Doe, Lola Doe, Sammy Doe. So you can have names. Okay? So that's what we're trying to say is we can create a table of names. All right? And we can also insert a chart. You can insert different kind of shapes. That one is sure. You have shapes. shapes. So you can use any shapes, any type of shape that come to your mind to aid your presentation, to make your presentation. So sometimes I use shapes like this, arrow, to point to a particular text. You know, so sometimes there's a need to use something like this. You know, sometimes we have need to use something like this, and then point it to the other side. That is just drag it other way around. And so we have shapes. You can always use different shapes, maybe for illustration, for showing that you are talking about something. Let's say you want to point an arrow to this. Why not? You can even rotate it. You can rotate. Okay? And you can use this to change the shape. Make this more tiny. Maybe that's what is in your mind. So that yellow button there helps to do that. And you can redirect it by dragging to the other way around. So let's say this is pointing to this is pointing to that. And then maybe this is pointing to this too. So you can see, so you can use illustrations. You can use different shapes for illustrations. Okay? And you can even insert text. You have text box. You can insert a text box to say something further. So maybe contacts. Maybe that's what you want to say that this particular arrow is for contacts. Is for pointing to contacts. Maybe you want to say this is pointing to name. Let's say your presentation is trying to explain what a table is or what this table is all about. And you are trying to create arrows. So like I picked my arrows from the shapes here. I picked them from the shapes here. And then I redirected them. And so then you can have insert text box. Put your text box here and say maybe names. So something like that for labeling. So maybe sometimes your presentation may be about labeling. Okay. So you can do all this. And you can also put a chart. You can insert chart into PowerPoint directly. You can insert your chart directly into PowerPoint. And then in the process of inserting the chart, the PowerPoint will show you a mini Excel sheet. Okay? So this mini Excel sheet will be the header. So let's say this is about population of 3 countries. Or let's say population of 3 cities in Nigeria. Lagos, Abuja, let's say Port Harcourt, PH, and then let's say the fourth one is Ibadan. Or let me put Wari inside. All right. So, and let's say this is for series of years. So let's say this is for 2022. This is for 2023, and this is for 2024. So the data will be provided, the data session will be provided for you to create your chart directly in the PowerPoint environment. So what it means is that you don't have to take your PowerPoint, your charts or table to Excel first and do them before you now import it back into PowerPoint. No, you don't have to do that. So I can come to this place and say, okay, this is maybe 40M. Let's say maybe this is 20M. I don't have the value now. So let's say for 2023 is 22M, for 2024 is 23 million. For Abuja City, we have 12. This is not an accurate data, so it's just for example. So I say this is 14, and then this is 13. So maybe more people didn't come in, some people left, and then PH maybe 15, then maybe 15, and then maybe 16, and then this one maybe 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so you can see that the table is changing based on the input that I'm making. So once I'm done, I will just close this session. Then I will have header, maybe population of 4 cities. Okay, so this is happening right in PowerPoint. I can even format it. I can change the chart format. I can choose another type of format I want. Since my background is black, I may want my charts to come out and look very fine. And I can even choose a layout. So if you look at the left side, I have a quick layout. I can choose a layout that will allow me to show my data and the chart. That means the text that brought about the chart. The two of them placed together. So at the bottom is the text, at the top is the chart itself. So you can see that your presentation can look very fantastic. Okay, so you can make your PowerPoints a wow. Depends on what you're trying to do. So this was table, and this table may even be the table for this. It doesn't matter. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. Okay, so you can create a table, put the text there. But if you are going to create this chart, you are not going to use this table directly. This table is just going to be like a figurehead. You will have to put your data in the Excel session at the point when you are creating this chart. And that's what you saw me did when I was creating this chart. So I had a session where I was giving access to the data. And the data was like this. So I was able to key in the data. And then when I was done, I closed the data. Okay. So, and you can even copy the data from the table and paste into that place. All right. So that is that's Excel, table and charts. It's not an Excel tool anyway, but it's just table and chart in PowerPoint. Okay. All right. Are we good? So now, as we can see, we've been able to put a table and we've been able to put a chart into our PowerPoint. So we can create a new slide. So you can create a new slide and you can change the layout to whatever it is that you want. So maybe you want two content, you select the two content layout. And then you put whatever you want to put at the top. And then, so like I said, you can have both image and, for instance, what we just did now, we can have it here. We can have a table. Okay. So you can come to these boxes and look for the one that is table. How many columns? 5. How many rows? You can determine the number of rows. And then you click OK. So that's the table. And you can come to this session and say, okay, what you want is a chart, and put your chart and say, okay. So on one side, there can be table. On the other side, there can be a chart. And you can see that for the chart, the table is out. So So maybe I want to talk about sales for 4 quarters. So I can put my data, can put my data. So that's the data at the top there. Okay. And then if I close this, so I have the data here. Okay. And this table, I can format it for the data itself. So I will just, let's just format this table and have, so what do we have? We have the quarter, the date. So, and then we had the QTR1, QTR2, QTR3, and QTR4. So I can expand this and then take off these sessions. So all I just need to do is go to my table option, and then you will see delete columns, and then I've deleted the columns. So I'm dealing with just 2 columns of data. Well, I'm trying to select table. Okay, so I will also delete these excess rows. So I'll delete from here, delete rows. So let's say this is the table for this chart. This chart has design, maybe something like this. So I can put the design. Okay. So maybe my presentation is about my sales data. Okay. So what I'm trying to display here is sales data. All right. So I have the chart, and then I have the table. So the sales. So if I have the figures, maybe if I click on the chart, I can go to chart design, and then I can go to edit data. Edit data. So if I go to edit data, I'll be given access to the figures that was used. So that is the figure. So I can copy it. Close the table, and paste the values here. Of course, this is just a table, so it's not going to look like Excel sheet. So maybe my data was already typed here before using it to do chart. So anyone is possible. So this is just a class exercise. So, and then most of my classes, sometimes I don't even plan, like say, okay, it's a ready-made plan. Because I'm trying to make the participants to see things from the scratch. So I do things raw. Right? I just do them raw. So that at least you see from almost nothing or from nothing to something. Okay, so that you can learn how these things are done, and then you can pick them up from there. Okay, so this is a table, and this is a chart, and this is also happening in PowerPoint. This is also happening in PowerPoint. right. Okay, so we're talking about charts, and we've seen that we can insert charts. And another thing that you can do in PowerPoint is that you can insert smart art. You can do a an organogram for relationship, something like this: director, CEO, company secretary, directors, and so on. So that is also possible. That is possible. You can do that in PowerPoint. You can also have icons, shapes. We've seen shapes, and then we've seen. So you can have what is called 3D model. You can have 3D model. That's talking about the kind of graphics that you can use. Because see, PowerPoint is about illustration, it's about presentation. So as much as you can, do things that will draw the attention of your audience. Okay? Do things that will draw the attention of your audience. So let's say somebody is trying to make a presentation about a wristwatch, for instance. You can insert a 3D model of a wristwatch. So you will see what I mean by 3D now. See what I mean by 3D? That I can look at it, that the watch looks very real, and that I can look at it from 3 dimensions. So you can use this as illustration. Maybe you are talking about wristwatch, you are saying, see this, as you can see the side, you can see the front, and your audience is looking at you rotating, and they're like, what is this guy doing? What is this person doing? You look like you are a high level human being. So that's just about it's just a 3D image. So you can find that under insert, under 3D model, stock image. Depends on what you are talking about. That's what determines what type of image you are bringing in. So maybe you are talking about sports. So you have a lot of images that you can use to illustrate sport. You can bring it into your slide. And with this now, I can rotate this board. I can rotate the board. So the ball is a 3D image. I can look at it from all angles. Go round and come back. Okay. So as much as you can, you use your 3D images to enhance your illustration. So you're trying to make your illustration to come alive so that your audience will enjoy what you are doing and will catch life. So, but it's not just about picture, because there are some presentations that does not necessarily need what do you call it, 3D image. Okay, so it depends on what you are presenting. Okay, depends on what you are presenting. So don't just go and take 3D image of any type of whatever it is, and say you are using it to illustrate serious matter. Imagine you are talking about finance, sales data, and all those things, and you are bringing a ball, and you are saying, well, I'm just trying to make my presentation look interesting and draw my, or bring a wristwatch, and unless you are selling wristwatch, I mean, that wristwatch will not be necessary in that presentation. But let's say you are now trying to showcase what you sell, okay? And you are trying to, let's say you sell shoes, okay? Let's say you sell shoes, and you can go to the 3D model from the stock images. Look for the picture of shoes or clothing. Let me just type shoes and see whether I will have suggestions. Beautiful. So if the shoes that you are seeing here fall into the category of the shoe that you want to illustrate, you pick them. You pick them. Okay? You pick them. And you insert. So I picked 5. And look at how all of them have decided to. So this is one. So I can place it like this. This is another shoe. I can place it like that. This is another. I can place it like this. This is another shoe. I can place it like this. And here is another. So my illustration will be about the shoes that I'm selling. So, and if this look like them, why not? I can pick them up. Okay? Because PowerPoint can be used to describe anything from text to video to image to animation and all that you have. Okay? So you have seen all these things that we've done so far. Putting video there. We use a video. We even recorded our own video using the Cameo. Recorded our own video. Recorded my own video using Cameo. Inserted the table. Inserted some charts and other things. Okay. So now let's go and look at how do I present my PowerPoint. I've finished doing everything, but I still have 2 more things. After the presentation, I will still go and teach you animation and transition. Okay? So let's say I have connected my system to an external screen, projector or something, and I want to present. So that means my PowerPoint is for seminar or discussion or something about reaching people, discussing with audience and all those stuff. So what you do is that after you have connected your system to a projector, they will have plugged the projector. Okay? Then you will now go to slideshow. Okay, so when I say they will have connected, the technicalities will have been done by maybe the people, the IT guys around you, helping you to connect that PowerPoint. I mean, that's your system to show, to extend, or to show on an external projector. Then you will now come to your PowerPoint and go to slideshow. Take that to your PowerPoint, go to slideshow, from the left side, you will see first two options: from beginning, from current slide. So if you are presenting from the beginning of the slide, that is slide 1. From current slide means maybe you stopped somewhere here. You now want to go back to present. You cannot use from beginning because it will go back to the start of the presentation. So you will use from current slide. So, but for this particular one, we have not done anything. So we'll go to from beginning. Click this. So you will see that my presentation has filled up the screen. Okay. And I can remove my own, let me remove my own camera so that you can see the presentation. So that is my slide is now showing as a presentation. So if I am now in slide 1, so if I click on my slide, I can move to slide 2. I can move to slide 3, move to slide 4. So you can see this is when you see the beauty of your presentation. And like I did in the previous, like I did say in the previous session, that maintain few texts in your presentation. Don't write too many notes. Point by point is enough. Point. That's what you need. Not too many texts. You can put your text in another place where you'll be talking about it, explaining. But for your PowerPoint presentation, you want to maintain little text. So you can see that's the session where I have video inserted. So you too can insert a clean video, maybe of yourself or of anything that is supportive to your presentation. So this one is the camera that was recorded. This was the camera that was recorded during the creation of the presentation. And this was the table that was created. So we are presenting. That's what we are doing. We are presenting. So I used the insert. I used the slideshow, and then from beginning option to present. So once you click it, it will start your presentation. Okay. Now let's apply animations. Let's give our presentation some form of features that will also draw the attention of our audience more. Okay, because since our presentation, our PowerPoint, is all about our audience. So we have our audience in mind. We are trying to do everything that will make our audience to stay. All right. So now, as it is, we want to start with the first slide. So animation means you apply motion. You give your presentation an ability to move. Maybe it's text or image. Okay? So if you click on the text, then you will see at the top, you see animations. You see fly in, for instance. You can see float in. You can pick another text, maybe apply fly in to that. So it means when I go back to my slideshow and I choose from beginning, This is floating. This is flying in. So you see that text flew in while the other one floated. Then I can go back. I can go to slide 2. Click on the introduction text. Go to animation and look for a suitable one. So I can use maybe swivel. Swivel. So swivel, that's what it means. I can come and use bounce for this. So you can see what bounce is like. So the animation makes your presentation to come alive actually. So let's say you are now trying to present and you say the introduction of this subject is Microsoft PowerPoint is a powerful business tool. Collaboration, again, it helps businesses convey idea. Next, this presentation explores. So your audience is captivated by your use of animation because that brings PowerPoint. But you see, if you are doing a very short presentation, maybe a pitch deck, don't use animation or translation for a pitch deck. Just design your presentation, make it fine, put your picture. A pitch deck is like a short business introduction, something that you just like a pitch elevator, something that you have seen an investor and you want to quickly show him with your laptop in your hand or your tab in your hand. You want to quickly show him something about your business so that he can pick interest. And then you have now applied animation and everything is moving one by one. And the person will say, I don't have time. I'm only giving you 1 minute. So you must have done your presentation so that you can move. By a scroll, you move to the next thing. That's why imagine you are doing a pitch deck and you are putting too many texts. Who has time to read your text? You understand what I'm saying now? So your presentation can be a pitch deck. It can be elevator pitch for business proposal. A business introduction that you want to do within 30 seconds. That you want to do within a minute. You are not given the opportunity of a long time. So do not put animation in very short presentation. Okay, but if you have 30 minutes, 1 hour presentation, and you have 10 slides, if you have 10 slides for 30 minutes presentation, that tells you that you have 3 minutes for each slide. Okay, so planning is very important. So if you have a presentation of 1 hour and then you have 10 slides, you know what that means. So you have about 6 minutes or average of maybe 5 minutes for each slide. And then some of the slides will take more time. Okay? With that one, you can put animation and enjoy, the beauty of flying in and flying out like what we are seeing. Okay. So let's apply animation to this one now. So we'll go to animation. So we can see appear, fade in, wheel. Then we have emphasis. So emphasis you can use maybe something like grow. Let's say grow. See, it grows out and it shrinks back. Okay, that's an animation. So let's say this one we put. Let me see what this blush color. So look at this one. It's a color that is showing to show that it's reading it. And then this image. So apart from text, you can animate images too. You can animate images. Okay, so you can make an image, do something, maybe bouncing. So now let's look at how this, let's go to slideshow from the current slide. So let's see how this works. Then we have this grew out. Then this started typing, started showing color brush is brushing, and then the picture bounces. Okay, so that is, you are animating your text and your image. So like this image now, I can, so but now let me just explain this. Animation is applied to each of the text and the images one at a time. And the reason is to give you the opportunity to be dynamic. So PowerPoint presentation is about planning. You plan it. You want to do a good presentation. It takes time. Create it. Okay? See, I have one, two, three. I have 3 different lectures that I'm going to be giving, and I'm preparing presentation for them. I'm not done with them. I do a lot of work trying to design my presentation, put the graphics, make it simple, make it straightforward, make it appealing, concise, draw attention, informative. So I can use infographics. Infographics are graphics that explains information. Graphics that explains a kind of information. Infographics. Okay? So you can do quite a lot to make your presentation look great. Okay? So that's and so if I go to slideshow and I say from beginning, as we begin to move now, you will see the animation happening from slide to slide to slide to slide. So which means if I'm talking, everything that I need my presentation to be showing will be drawing the attention. So the attention is being drawn. The audience attention is being drawn by virtue of my presentation. So now, but that's not the only thing. We have just animated the text. Then we now have what we call transition. In video editing, we have what we call effect, we have what we call transition. Transition actually is what we place in between video scenes, so that instead of a video to just cut and appear to another place. So let's say we are changing scene. We have recorded this session. We now want to change to another session. So in video editing, this scene is, so we cut them by scenes. And so when you put a scene and you now want to switch to another scene, we don't just want it to do a blink, just a blink. So we can do a transition that will just make it to do, so there will be a kind of an effect, but it's changing from one scene to another. So likewise in PowerPoint, you have transition that can change from one slide to another, so that the slide does not just change anyhow. Okay? So like if I'm doing a slideshow now, and I say from beginning, apart from the animation that I put, each of the slide when it's changing, it's not showing anything special. The slide just blink. Okay, so I can use a transition and say, okay, for my transition, maybe uncover. So if I apply uncover as a transition, and then I now say slideshow from beginning, so you will see that by the time a slide finishes, it uncovers. By the time, so this is a slide, the text are animated. We are going to another slide now. Okay, sorry, I didn't apply that into all the slides. So now for this particular one, when you pick a transition, you have the option to apply to all. If you want or if you want to use different transition for each slide. That is, each of the slides should have its own. Then don't click apply to all. So what it means is that the transition from here to this slide is on cover. So I may want to use another one called shape. Then I may want to use another one called reveal, or maybe split. Then I may want to use another one, maybe cutting. It's one of my favorites. So it opens. So I may want to use cutting for this one too. So now let's say I'm now doing my presentation, slide show. Can you see? It's opening. Opening. Then I finish this. I want to go to the next slide. It opens. So it's a kind of a wow for your audience. So they look at it. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So that is transition. So all you just need to do in transitioning is click on the slide, and if you want to apply a single transition to all of them, just click on the first one, go to the transition, then look for the transition you want. So like I said, maybe I'm going to choose cutting, and then I will now, the duration also matters because this looks a little bit slow, so I have to wait for them to finish opening a curtain one by one before I can now open. No. So I can reduce it from 6 minutes or 6 seconds rather to a lower, maybe 2 seconds. And then I will click apply to all. So that is where my mouse is at the top. On the right side, you will see apply to all, you will see the duration. So if I now go to slide show, and then I now say from beginning, you can see that the curtain opens faster now. So it's like something is chasing the curtain. Bah! But it's still okay, it's still fine. Still fine. So that is how these things work. All right. So wow. Okay. So that is slide transition. Slide transition. We have seen animation. We've seen all the graphics. We've seen all the text. And now we have seen the transition. So this is where I'm going to round up the PowerPoint. If you have comments, you can send your comments into the YouTube comment below. I encourage you to subscribe, subscribe and click the notification bell. I completed 5 sessions for Excel, and I've done 3 sessions for PowerPoint. Very soon, we are going to start another session, and that's going to be for Microsoft Word. So it will be great if you subscribe so that you can catch up. Because once you subscribe and you click the notification bell, you will catch up, because I'm still going to do Microsoft Outlook. I'm still going to teach you some other Microsoft applications, and then we are going to be doing them in sessions. So what it means is that what you are going to pay money for, you get them from me here. All right. So thank you. Thank you so much. It's It's been a wonderful time together. See you another time. Bye.